Thank you, Aqueduct, for sponsoring this video. Welcome back to Clearwater Chronicles. Today I'm answering a question that comes around every year, especially from new pool owners who might live in warmer climates. Can you just leave your pool open all winter? Do you really have to close it down? There's a lot of misinformation out there about this, and the truth is, it depends. We'll walk through when it makes sense to leave your pool open, when it doesn't, what extra steps you need to take if you do, and how to avoid the most common wintertime pool disasters. First, let's talk about why this even comes up. Some pool owners just don't want to deal with closing and reopening their pool every year. Others just want to keep their pool looking nice year-round, especially if they have water features or lighting they enjoy looking at during the winter. And some believe that keeping the pool open prevents algae or staining because the water keeps circulating. There's some truth to that, but there's some trade-offs. Before we move on, I want to give a quick thanks to Aqueduct for sponsoring this video. They're a U.S. company making pool chemicals right here in the States. If you're closing your pool this winter, check out their pool closing kits and their pool buoy system. It's a smarter, tougher alternative to old school pool pillows. Plus, they support the Wounded Warrior Project all year long and make an extra donation every time we partner on a video like this. The single biggest factor in this decision is your climate. If you live somewhere that sees consistent freezing temperatures, leaving your pool open all winter can be risky. Ice expansion can damage plumbing lines, pool equipment, tile, even the pool structure itself. But if you live in a milder climate, think southern states where the temperature dips below freezing only occasionally, then keeping your pool open can be done safely with a few precautions. So let's look at both sides. When is it a bad idea to leave your pool open? If your pool has above ground plumbing, exposed pipes, or equipment that isn't insulated well, freezing water can cause thousands of dollars worth of damage. Even running the pump overnight or continuously won't always protect you during hard freezes. Also, if you're in an area that regularly drops below 32 degrees Fahrenheit several days in a row, it's just not worth the risk. A properly closed pool can handle those conditions safely and save you a ton of stress. When is it okay to keep it open? Well, if you live in warmer climates like the southern United States where temperatures rarely go below 40 during the daytime, then you can keep it open as long as you're willing to stay on top of the maintenance. So here's what that means. You're going to have to run your pump at least a couple hours each day, but definitely enough to maintain water clarity. And during cold snaps, you're going to have to run it continuously. So it may end up costing you some money in the winter that you wouldn't have normally spent. You're going to have to keep your water balanced just like you would during the on-season, especially pH, alkalinity, and calcium hardness to protect the pool surfaces. You'll want to use a freeze protection system if your pump supports it. These automatically will turn your pump on when temperatures go below freezing. Most of your modern variable speed pool pumps, especially the ones made by the bigger well-known brands like Pentair, Hayward, or Jandy, are going to have built-in freeze protection that kicks on automatically when temperatures drop near freezing. And if the pump handles it internally, it usually runs it at a low preset speed to keep the water moving. But keep in mind, all pumps don't have built-in freeze protection. If you're using an external freeze sensor or an automation system, that system decides which speeds to run. Most commonly, that's going to be whatever you've programmed as your filter cycle. And you definitely need to stay on top of leaves and debris because organic matter sitting in cold water for months can still cause staining and clog filters. So yes, you can leave it open, but it's not set it and forget it. When keeping your pool open throughout the winter, your chemistry needs to shift a little bit. Cold water slows down chlorine activity, which means your sanitizer will last a little longer, but you still need to test weekly to keep things in range. Here's a few quick targets. Your pH, you want to keep it between 7.4 and 7.6. Your alkalinity, depending on your pool type and your sanitizer method, will be between 80 and 120 parts per million. On the lower side if you have a saltwater pool. Calcium hardness should be maintained between 200 and 400 parts per million. Your chlorine level should read between 1 and 3 parts per million, and it's important to keep your stabilizer at 30 to 50 parts per million. You can also use a winter algicide to give yourself some extra cushion if your pool is exposed to direct sunlight during the day. Even in warmer areas like where I live, you'll get the occasional freeze overnight. So to protect your equipment, you want to keep your pump and filter running anytime that temperatures are forecasted to be below freezing. So if you don't have automatic freeze protection, you definitely want to make sure that you stay on top of that. If you're going to be away for more than a few days during the winter time, you really need to install one of those automatic freeze protection systems or a smart plug so you can monitor and control your system remotely. You want to insulate any exposed pipes or fittings. For that, foam sleeves or old pool noodles will work just fine. And you also want to keep your water level up to ensure good circulation. Leaving your pool open has some nice perks. Your backyard still looks great, you can enjoy your lighting and water features, and you'll have less work when it comes to reopening your pool in the spring. And if you're brave enough, you can even take that occasional polar plunge. Plus, as long as you keep your chemistry in check, your pool water will often look crystal clear when spring rolls around. Where you live makes a big difference. A pool owner in South Florida or coastal Texas can usually keep their pool open all winter long with very light maintenance. But if you're somewhere like northern Georgia or the Carolinas or even parts of Arizona, it's kind of a gray area. You might not get hard freezes, but a few cold snaps can really cause you some problems if your equipment's not protected. That's why it's a good idea to base your decision on your local climate, your equipment setup, and how hands-on you want to be. Some folks leave their pools running all year long just because they like the way it looks, and others close it simply for peace of mind. There's not really one universal rule. It really just depends on your conditions and your comfort level. Now, if you're thinking, I don't want to babysit my pool all winter, that's totally fine too. Closing your pool properly with a good cover and the right chemicals will protect it just as well. The key is to lower your water level, blow out your plumbing lines, add a good closing kit like the ones Aqueduct sells, and cover it securely. That'll prevent freeze damage and keep debris out until spring. If you choose to close your pool down and want to see exactly how that process works, check out my pool closing videos. I've got one for chlorine and one for salt water. Both videos will give you a proper step-by-step guide to closing your pool down if you decide to go that route. Leaving your pool open does come with a small electricity cost since you're still running your pump daily, but you save on the cost of closing and reopening chemicals and potentially avoid staining or algae growth that can happen under a poorly secured cover. For many people in milder climate, it ends up being about the same cost either way. The real difference is in the convenience and your preference. So can you leave your pool open all winter? Well, if you live in milder climates and you're comfortable with doing a little extra maintenance, then absolutely. But if you get hard freezes or if you just don't want to monitor it closely, close it up properly and rest easy knowing it's protected. Either way, your pool will be ready to go when warm weather returns. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. If you keep your pool open during the winter, let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, then hit the like button and subscribe for more pool videos right here on Clearwater Chronicles. Helpful resources and product links are down below in the description. And if you decide to close your pool down this winter, then there's salt water and chlorine closing videos right here and here that'll walk you through that process step by step. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.